episode of Digital Marketing Masterclass. I'm Lindsay Deku, and I am the Account Communications Director here at Ferrotech. This is Chris Carr, our CEO and fearless leader. And today we're going to be talking about link building.
All right. Let's dive in. This is the part that I probably get the most questions about because it's the part of SEO that is like the high risk, high reward part of SEO. And what I mean by that is that companies that have really great backlinks to their content tend to rank really, really well. The ones that don't and want to try to cut corners and push the envelope on that, a lot of times they can get whacked. And so I want to make sure that as I'm talking about this, that I am in the camp that links absolutely work, bad link building absolutely doesn't.
Yeah. So just to preface, for people who are new to link building strategies, there are two types. So we can talk for just briefly. We're going to focus on backlinks, but there is a piece of internal link building that needs to be core to your strategy. But Chris, I think we are definitely focusing today on backlinks. And do you want to just touch on what is the difference?
Yeah, last time I was talking about the idea of backlinks as far as generating generating authority to your website from links that come outside of your website.
Mhm.
All right. And so not all links are equal. We talked about a story about Microsoft. I'd rather have one link from Microsoft linking back to my website than thousands of other low authority links that are not in my niche or in my industry. So that's
Right.
one. The other one here, and I'm going to say it's backlinking. It's really called internal linking. Is how you structure your content and how you link within your website. If you kind of use the expression like all roads lead to Rome, that's sort of what you want to be able to do is you want to identify what are the critical parts of your website, what are the keywords you're trying to rank for, what content you already have on your website, and then you want to make it easy in the eyes of Google to say, hey, you know what? All of these pages and all this content are pointing back to some critical areas on my website. And so the roads within your website are just as important as the roads that lead to your website from outside providers or other websites.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it last time is like what is good for the user is also good for SEO for Google. So the
Yep.
idea is to like hand people easily make pieces of content that they're going to be interested in, easily accessible, and then
Yep.
yes, feed them to high value information on the site so that they can, eventually make a buying decision. Um, but yeah,
Yep.
works for SEO
And
and for users.
I want to give another warning is that if you're not doing all the critical best practices with Google, if your website's not set up correctly, if you don't have decent page speed, if you're not optimizing your content and adjusting your metadata, do the things that are in your control first. In other words, don't skip ahead to like the samurai warrior stuff when you can literally spend 70% of your time adjusting what you already have. And, it's like this run before you walk type stuff. I see it all over the place.
Right. Okay, so let's dive in and specifically look at backlink strategy. So what
Yep.
is a backlink? Like what's the benefit of building backlinks?
The benefit of building backlinks is that you have to figure out where the origin of ranking actually happened. What I mean by that is that when search engines used to exist, like Alta Vista, and I'm going to name some really old ones because I'm an old man, like Alta Vista, even early Yahoo, you're in a spot where if you just put in that keyword as many times in a page, the search engines didn't know how to know any better, and so they were using all these ranking factors that didn't make any sense. And then Larry Page and oh gosh, I can't even think of the other guy's name. The two co-founders of Google, they were at an Ivy League school, I believe, or Stanford or something like that, and they basically came up with the idea of Google by saying, hey, when we write research papers, you have to give credit at the bottom. You have to cite your work. You know what I mean? And so those citations are basically saying, hey, I'm writing a piece of paper, but if you want more information, go to the source. All right? In theory, that's what we're doing with backlinking. We're saying, I'm writing a really good piece of information here, but if you want more information, you can find different information, better information, more thorough information here. I used this source to write what I'm writing right now. All right?
So, yeah.
So if your content isn't good enough to be the source, a lot of times you're not going to get a backlink because you didn't write anything that's source worthy. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if I wrote a 10-page research paper and then backlink to, I don't know, green eggs and ham, like it's not going to make any sense, right? So I'm going to
Right.
basically link back to things that bring authority to what I'm writing.
Right. So it seems like it would be really hard to write a piece of content and then get people to use it as a source. You would have to be like a really strong thought leader.
Yep.
Are there strategies to get people to do that, or how do you get
Yeah.
people to cite your source?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, I think there's a couple different things. I think a lot of times we go and we generate so much content. If the content ranks, sometimes the source finds it organically or naturally.
Mhm.
Other times, I really believe in content promotion being a very, very important part of this puzzle. Other times, you can literally, like Backlinko, Brian Dean from Backlinko talks literally about finding the places you wish were linking to you and then reaching out to them and let them know that you exist. Sounds weird,
That's so
right?
simple.
I know, I know. Just let them know. Hey, I know you wanted to bring quality information to your audience. You didn't go in depth as much as you could. Wondering if you wanted to take a link from this paragraph, point it to mine where I explained that chapter that you didn't have the time to link to, that
That's
you didn't have the
brilliant.
time to write about. It's simple, right? But it's like we want to
Time
go the hard way.
consuming.
It's like, yeah, exactly. We're like dreaming. It's like, oh my gosh, this girl in my dreams over here. I hope she finds me, as
Hmm.
opposed to being like, hey,
I'm right
here I
here.
am. I'm right here. You know what I mean? It's like a very weird thing.
Yeah.
Now, let me kind of talk about. Well, I'm afraid it's not going to come up through questioning, so let me try to just skip ahead and answer a question that I wish was asked
Okay.
about the types of links. So, um, ignore the artistic work here in post production. I'm going to make this look like our brand, but for right now, it's pretty ugly. All right. So,
Did you
what
draw
you're
it
looking
yourself?
at here. Yeah, I did. I did that. I did it with a bunch
Oh,
of
nice.
crayons. Yep.
Okay.
So this was told to me from a guy named Chad DeBolt, runs a company called Searchability. Really smart SEO guy, focuses a lot on backlinking. But the way it was described to me here is that we want to start to look at the quadrants of links. Now, in quadrant one is what the links that a lot of people, when they're trying to game the system, unfortunately do, and what they used to do previously. So they would have low authority links, and they're not industry specific, but you could get a bunch of them. All right? And you thought, hey, how many backlinks do you have? And you're like, I have gobs of them. And Google's going to say only really good content is going to have gobs of people linking to it. Well, Google was smart enough to say, hey, people are gaming the system, so I got to figure a different metric. So then in quadrant two, I'm saying, hey, you know what? These links are high authority links, but you know what? They're not exactly in my industry. So it would be great
Mhm.
if, um, I don't even know, like the high authority website of Walt Disney is linking to my website, but I also sell plumbing equipment. And so why it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? The authority, I'm getting juice from the authority, but Google also factors in, you know what? Not exactly in your industry. You know what I mean? Quadrant three is the exact opposite. I'm going to find links that, so I'm still a plumber, right? But it's like, it's going to be low authority, meaning I'm not getting it from, I don't know what the number one plumbing supply company in the world is. The link isn't coming from there, but I've got a bunch of other local handymen that do plumbing too. They're all pointing to my content. So
Mhm.
Google's going to favor that even more than just, tons and tons of links. And then finally, quadrant four is the holy grail. High authority websites that link to your content that are in your industry. And so I'm still a plumber here, and I don't even know. Can you name a plumbing company? I can't even think of like something that deals with plumbing. Ferguson.
National Plumbing Union.
Yeah, the National Plumbers
That's my
Union.
real thing.
On the homepage of that is a link to your website. All right, right in your niche, really high authority. Bam. That's sort of the holy grail. Um, ironically, ironically, some of these you want to say are earned. Other ones, there's an art and science to go find them. They're there for the taking. It's just you don't know they exist. So, for
So there's a
example,
lot
like,
of information about there about quality backlinks. Is this related
yep,
to like the quality of the backlink?
the quality is the closer you get to quadrant four, the better. of a backlink we're talking about. All
Okay.
right.
Sorry, I
But
interrupted you.
ironically, you would want to say, hey, I'm going to try to get into as many association websites as I can because it's literally right in my niche. I'm in that association.
Hmm.
A lot of times, those backlinks might not be high authority because those associations often don't have a ton of money. And if they don't have a ton of money, they're not pumping out a lot of content. They're not pumping out a lot of content. They're just not, you know what I mean? Like the ingredients are off, but the specificity to your industry is giving you a lot of points, a lot of juice, a little link juice.
Right.
So I think that's going to be an important thing to note and to do. So step number one is let's find the low hanging fruit of all the associations that'll link to me.
And now, is there a better, good or better or worse way to do, like, do you want all the associations linking to your homepage, or do you want them to link?
No.
What? No.
Yeah, no, that's you beat me to that. Don't If you can link to your homepage, great. 9 times out of 10, the free links you get, they will link to your homepage, which helps your overall domain authority, which is great. I'm gonna butcher it so you can say it for me, Lindsay. It's like all tides raise ships or whatever. It's
Oh,
like
high
the
tide raises all ships.
high tide raises all ships. If your
Yep.
domain authority is good, a lot of your other content has a better chance of ranking. Not a guarantee. So I would rather have deep linking to your website, but be careful because you could wake up one day and you're a guy just like me, and I'm literally saying me, Chris Carr, and I get greedy and I want to get all of my content to rank. And so I want tons and tons of links to as many pages as possible. And then I just basically dilute everything as opposed to saying, hey, what are the pages I really want to rank for? And let's focus on getting really good links to that page. And then this is right out of Lindsay's handbook is that let's find the content that's on pages 2 through 5. Let's get a little love to those pages because sometimes maybe a link or two is the difference between being on page 5 and page 1. You know, don't
Music
be
to my
me.
ears. I mean, you're brilliant, but sometimes
But
you chase the shiny object.
want to be brilliant everywhere on everything I've ever done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
So, just to clarify, when you say deep link, you mean a specific piece of content that you want to rank.
yeah, and so also start to think about what content do you have? Do you have awareness, consideration, and decision level content? Because it's actually easier to get content to point to your awareness level content
Hmm.
than it is to get it to your decision level content. But if you can get the opportunity to get it to your decision level content, by all means do it.
Yeah,
All
just has
right?
to be
Like,
relevant.
correct. Like it's very weird how any company that's a service provider, you have your services pages. It's very hard to get backlinks to your services pages because usually it's not thought leadership isn't there. It's like literally I don't even know, we do a service, we clean gutters, right?
It has to be so niche and like so
Yep,
relevant to, like, someone is actually looking for this and they are giving the answer to a specific
yep.
problem to send them there, when most of the time people are looking for awareness or consideration level information. Makes sense.
So yeah, so conversion often doesn't happen off of your blog. They find information that's helpful for them to do it themselves. It can convert there. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just harder. They're usually saying, "Hey, I'm trying to solve a problem. This blog isn't going to explain how to solve that problem, or it's going to change the emotional value of where I'm at right now, or whatever that is, the value of that blog." But that's where you establish your thought leadership, and then you use that energy of that high-ranking page to point back to your services pages. So it's a little bit of a mojo of external links to content that's very link worthy, and then using the juice of that link worthy content to make the pages that are going to be very hard to get links to rank.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So that is the whole link strategy right there.
Yeah,
Okay. We are coming to the end of our time, Chris. So is there anything
yep,
else you wanted to touch on before we wrap up?
yeah. I mean, I think what I'm talking about here, it can be done yourself. But as I said in my last blog, as our last video, there's 2 billion blogs in the world, one for every 7 people. If you think that you're going to be able to get your content to rank, you've got a lot of competition. I don't know how to fix my own toilet, so I hire a professional to do it. I recommend you try it yourself. But if you can't get it done, lean on companies like Veritech and other companies that understand the science behind what we're doing, because you don't want to waste your time and money just to find out that you're just not going to get a result. So,
Right.
plug.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Call us. We're the plumber of of backlink strategies. That's
That's
our
right.
new tagline.
Yep.
Okay, so we'd love to hear your feedback. I actually want to hear if anyone has been doing backlink strategy. Like, what is the craziest way you found to get a backlink where you want it? Um, other feedback we'd love to hear as well. Reach out to us if you need help with backlink strategy or a more comprehensive SEO strategy. And we'll see you next time. If you liked this, make sure you subscribe, and see you at the next digital marketing masterclass.
All right.
Bye.